Come here, Coleman. Hey friends, welcome back to OsoFarm. I am taking a few minutes out of our busy day today to film that Q&A that I told you we would get filmed a couple of weeks ago. So I am outside in our backyard on our property. If you are new here, my name is Brandy, and I wanted to, before we started in the Q&A, wanted to just give a brief introduction to who we are, since we have some new friends and new followers. So this is my Coleman. I don't know if you can see him. He's a standard poodle puppy, and he is gonna be a distraction for sure. So we are a large family, and we live in Central Texas. We moved from Houston to the Waco area about 3 years ago. We have 11 children, and we have 9 living children, ages 22 down to 8. So we have 4 kids still at home. My Evan, Esme, Everett, and Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is a senior, and Everett is a junior, Esme is a sophomore, and my Evan is doing kindergarten level work. He is 8, but he has Down syndrome. We have always been a homeschooling family. I believe we're on year 17. I don't know, I lose count. My daughter is a college graduate, so she went to kindergarten in public school, and then from then on, we have been longtime homeschoolers. So we moved from the city to the country, and we live on a little under 3 acres and have tried our best, Coleman is knocking my camera, to start a little homestead. And when we got here, we had 8 kids still at home, and our Ezra, who a lot of y'all know through our videos, he passed away a little over 2 years ago. He was 8.5. Ezra was medically fragile and died unexpectedly, and so our time here in Waco has been really, really challenging. So this past, 8 weeks ago, it'll be 9 weeks in a couple of days, we had a tragic house fire, and I will link that video below. Praise God, it happened in the evening and happened during daylight time, and so all of us were awake and we were able to all get out. So nobody was injured. We did lose our dog Roger, who was so old, like 18 years old. He died a week later due to smoke inhalation, but we were just really thankful that we were all okay. So my Q&A was kind of based around the fire. I know a lot of y'all had a lot of just questions and concerns. That's my rooster Kazoo. So I just wanted to give y'all an opportunity to ask the questions that y'all were curious about or worried about for us, and hopefully this will answer your questions and help you kind of understand where we are and how we are. So first of all, thank you for just your tender comments, your compassion for our loss, and just your patience with us as we, just kind of fight our way through the trauma of this and, start to kind of rebuild our lives, and not just our home, but just emotionally, get back to normal life, which includes these videos. So I wrote down all y'all's questions, and I kind of categorized them. So the first thing I'll answer is more about us, how we're doing, and then I'll talk about the house. So some of the questions were, how are you all doing? How are the kids adjusting? How is Evan handling this major life shift? So I think the first few weeks we were in such shock that it was just so hard. And I think, we had no idea what was coming or what to expect, or, you know, what the final say on our house would be. And so it was just all of those unknowns. The first probably week of, you know, not having any of our belongings, not having any of our clothes, toiletries, food, everybody was really generous and helped us with that. But it also was just really overwhelming when everything is new, or even just you're getting a lot of, you know, clothes gifted to you. And it was just, all of that stuff actually became overwhelming because we got so much stuff. So I would encourage you, if you know somebody that has a house fire in the future, I think have one point person to give them enough clothes for maybe 48 hours so they can change their clothes, take a shower, and then the best thing is to give gift cards so that they can purchase clothes for themselves. We had bags and bags and bags of clothes, which were a blessing. We were so thankful, you know, for everyone's generosity, but it honestly was really overwhelming. And just trying to navigate, where are we going to sleep? Where are we going to, you know, there are 6 of us. So where are we going to sleep? Where are we going to do school? Bryan works from home. Where is he going to work from home? Where are we going to play? Oh, you have a really loud, he's got like a piece of plastic, so it's going to be really loud. And so those first few weeks were really overwhelming. There were so many decisions that had to be made that I remember just being in a fog, so exhausted. Now, you know, almost 9 weeks out, I think we are kind of at the point of grief of acceptance. I think our days can be long when we're in a 900 square foot little mother-in-law suite on our property, which we were so thankful that we had. But that's a lot of togetherness all the time. Coleman, come here. So I think overall, I'm so proud of my kids. I'm proud of their resiliency, of their compassion for each other and for us. I think they have learned through Ezra's death that God is faithful. Even though we're hurting, God is for us and with us. And so this was just another, you know, time of us remembering that and clinging to that. And he has definitely been faithful. So I think we're doing okay. We have purchased everything that we need. We all have the clothes that we need, the winter clothes that we need. Evan has the toys that he needs. We have the school items that we need, the stuff to cook. So we're at a good place, and we're really, really thankful for that. I think with the weather being nicer, it's going to be a breath of fresh air. So when it was so hot right after it happened and we were just cooped up in that space, it was really challenging. But this is the perfect weather. We can spread out and enjoy, you know, our property. So that is huge. As for Evan, people with disabilities in general sometimes have a hard time with transitions and adjustments just in normal life. So for him, you know, he doesn't have the cognitive understanding of what happened and why we are, you know, in this different situation. And initially it was really hard because our house is standing. He just can't go inside of it. And so he would get really frustrated, like, this is the sign for please, like, please, I want to go inside. He would sign for a specific toy that we did not replace. We chose to just replace a few items because we truly just don't have space for the amount of toys that he had before. So, you know, it's kind of heartbreaking because there will be something that he just signs for. So overall, he's done okay. I would say now he's doing pretty good. And we made some adjustments to his schedule. We took 3 weeks off of school, mainly because we physically didn't have our curriculum. And we stopped all of his speech therapy because we were trying to do it in a small space and it just wasn't working, and he wasn't ready for that kind of structure yet. And then he had started to have a really hard time in childcare at church, which was not his typical thing. And so we took a step back and kept him home for 2 weeks total, which really is like 3 events that he would, because we go to Wednesday night and then Bryan and I serve at the church we lead Grief Share. So it was 3 times of childcare that he would be in church once a week. So we took a 2-week break to kind of reset, and he's done so much better. We are easing back into curriculum with him. He's started back speech therapy. Today was not a great speech therapy day, but he has done better. So I'm encouraged. Evan is a joy, and we'll get through this. So he has his cars, he has his music, he has us, so he is happy. That's actually him hollering in there. They've got the windows open. Okay, so the kids and I and Bryan, we're doing okay. The animals are doing great. So is there anything from your house that is salvageable? So that was another question. And how much were you able to save? So it was an attic fire. If you watch the videos towards the end, you can see that it even in the peaks of our roof line, it goes all the way through. You can see it moving through the attic. So we had spray foam insulation that completely melted. And when the firefighters climbed on the roof and sprayed it, it then had all of that soot that was now toxic from the spray foam insulation fall onto our house. So when we walked through initially after the fire, it was crazy. I had just cleaned the house and everything was standing. There were certain areas like in the entry and the dining room and the living room that were pretty heavy hit, that, you know, we lost a lot of items from that. But overall, everything was physically there. So we have a company that we're working with, a restoration company. They're going to rebuild our house, and they're also dealing with our contents. And we were told probably like 2 or 3 days after the fire that we were going down to the studs, that everything in the house would have to be removed. We're hoping that we can keep our cabinets. We're going to try for that. It has rained multiple times since then, and our roof was unstable, so they couldn't patch that up. So that's still it. When it rained, we got some more water damage, and so we won't know that until they remove the cabinets and try to fix that. So hold on, what do you have? Okay, now we have a big wood piece. Oh my word. So everything, there was an explosion in the garage, so we lost everything in the garage, and it was thrown away on site. Anything related to children, so all toys, books, manipulative school items, everything like that was deemed unsalvageable. And she just said because kids could put things in their mouth, it's just not safe. So that was really heartbreaking for us, because we have 23 years of toys, of, you know, hand-me-downs and things with memories. We lost all of Ezra's toys. So that was really, really sad. All of Evan's books, he loved his books. So that part was really hard. My understanding is that anything that's solid wood and glass can be salvaged, hopefully. Anything that is not those things will need to be replaced. So we were able to get back quite a bit of our homeschool curriculum. It did smell smoky initially, but they said they put it through an ozone process. So I think the answer to that is, I think we're going to lose a lot of things, but I do believe that some of our things will be given back to us, which is a huge relief. So I've been working on an inventory sheet, and then as they clean things and I know for certain that something's coming back or is deemed unsalvageable, I can update that. And we have not received any funds from insurance yet for that, simply because we haven't submitted that form yet. So we're just waiting on the restoration company to do that. So right now our next step is just to take the next step. They have not started the demo process. So if y'all could pray for us, pray specifically that the insurance company would agree to the estimate. So it's just been a lot of back and forth. And I think that's the hardest part, but nothing has happened yet. Like, it'll just be such a good thing for our hearts to see progress. Like right now, it's just so frustrating because nothing has happened. And when you get out of the car, when you pull up, you smell the smoke, you smell the damage, and you get used to it after a while, but it's just so disheartening. So the next step is going to be demo. They will tear everything off. My understanding is that they'll rebuild the roof first, so that when they start to rebuild the house, the things inside will be protected. So that's going to be the first thing that we'll pick out, is a new roof color, a new trim color, and things like that. So somebody also asked, will you go overboard with fire alarms in your home rebuild? I think we're not going to go overboard. We're definitely going to, do what is code. And Coleman, where are you getting these? He's chewing We'll definitely have fire alarms. We're definitely more aware. Most of our kids are teenagers, so they have the trauma of this experience. So we definitely are more prone to just fire safety and fire awareness. So we definitely, will make sure that our home is safe, that the electrical system is on point. And ultimately, we just have to surrender any fears or concerns like that to the Lord, because, they're going to build our house as they should. And we just have to trust, we're not going to live in fear that this would happen again. We have no control over that outside of just doing what we need to do. So I think it definitely is always going to be something that is scary to us, and we'll just work through those feelings as they come up. But I don't think we're going to do anything extra outside of just having, smoke alarms that other people would have in their home for safety. Are we getting excited about rebuilding the way that we would want it? Will it be slightly different? I think once the demo happens, I will start to get excited. I have moments where I get excited, but I'm generally overwhelmed by the amount of decisions that we will have to make, because they're literally ripping every single thing up. So we have the ability to change anything in the inside of our home, which we just never pondered before. We love our home. We loved our home as it was. So trying to consider changes, that's come with time. So one of the main changes that we're going to do is, there was a big column in our dining room. We had kind of an open plan. We want to remove that, so we'll have to change some load-bearing walls. We're also kind of just praying through our finances and seeing if this would be a time that we wanted to modify our home, and like add money to the project to do kind of some bigger ideas. And one of those being build a loft in the attic in the house, because we've got a barn house. That's the house we're living in on the property, where I store all of our Christmas decorations and stuff like that. So those were untouched, praise the Lord. But so building an attic kind of loft area with a bunch of kind of bunk beds and a place for, right now we have 2 grandkids, but we know, with all of our kiddos, we hope to have a lot more. So when everybody comes to visit, they would have a place to stay. We've talked about doing a few things to the kitchen. It's just kind of frustrating and strange, because we literally just redid the floors. We just redid the kitchen within the last 2 years. So we've already made these big decisions. So it just feels odd to be doing it again, but we're going to redo our pantry and do it differently and things like that. So I think it is exciting and overwhelming at the same time. I'm trying to really kind of hone in on what is my style. You know, I think the farmhouse, the modern farmhouse is really trendy right now, and it's lovely. I love it, but I'm just trying to think like long term, is that the look that I, you know, want to go with and stay with? And, you know, aspects of it maybe, sure, but I think my sister Tanya, when I was showing her pictures, said that my style is more English cottage, whatever that means. So I think that part will be fun when we get there. It's just, we need to see movement. I think it'll be easier for me to sit down and dream on Pinterest or on Instagram and stuff and search for ideas when something is actually happening. We were told to expect it to be 8 months of rebuilding. And so y'all can join me in prayer. I've been asking the Lord that this is the only Christmas that we're not in our home. So if they don't start rebuilding it in a hot minute, you know, we may have 2 Christmases, 2 holiday seasons that we're not in our home. So we're just ready for them to get started. We definitely want to take y'all along for the ride. If you have ideas or suggestions, or, you know, we would love to hear those in the comments. Let's see. And lastly, one of the questions was, as your YouTube family, what can we do for you? That is so sweet. I think by watching our videos and subscribing if you haven't subscribed, liking our videos, interacting with us in the comments, like just helping our channel grow, blesses us as a family. And so we just appreciate that. Your kind words and encouragement are always so sweet to us. If you don't follow us on Instagram, I really try. It's easy for me to like post a story quick, then shoot a video. We did lose all of our vlogging equipment, all of our tripods and microphones and ways to just make, you know, cooking videos and things like that easier. So a lot of times in just being in a state of overwhelm, I'm like, okay, I'm not filming. But my heart really does want to. And so I want to just start with this video so that you would know where we are and how we're doing, and how you can pray for us, and then kind of go from there. Maybe it would make more sense when you see us in our tiny space and can kind of, you know, relate more to what we're going through. If you've watched my videos for a long time, you know I wouldn't say we were preppers, but maybe some people would call us that. But we did have a large amount of stored foods and just preservations of things. And so moving into this winter, it does feel strange. We don't have the space, but we lost our generator and all of our extra food. Like the air started to get cold again, and so I had to rush and buy everybody a jacket and gloves because we physically didn't have those things. So I think I've been making a master list of when we finally move back into the house and I have the space to restock everything. Now that will probably be a grocery haul to look forward to, because I've just been adding an Azure cart. I don't know if it's going to last 8 months. I don't plan to place an order with Azure until we move in. It's not at all similar to Jamarelle at Large Family Table, but I've related to some of her content lately, just where she's like, you know, I used to do all these big batch cooking, and, you know, I don't know what her life situation is, but she's just having a hard time. And so like, I'm doing what I can do for right now. So I relate to that, and I feel that a lot. Like, you know, I may not be, where are you getting these? There goes all my garden equipment. You know, I may not be doing the most revolutionary cooking videos or grocery hauls for a while, but that's just not the season of life that we're in right now. We're just, I know emotionally as time passes, I'll feel more like doing those things. Coleman, come here. Coleman, come here. So anyways, if you've made it through this video, thank you. If you have more questions, I can try to answer some of those down in the comments. But once this video posts, my hope and plan, God willing, is that we can just get back to more day in the lives. It would also help me so much to understand, like, not why are you here, but what content of ours do you love the most? Like, y'all told me before and encouraged me before, we're not just here for the grocery hauls. So I know that y'all love those, but like, tell me, I know homeschooling content does not get a lot of views. I will share that from time to time, but you know, like, what aspect of our content do you look forward to and do you enjoy the most? And we'll try to kind of target our videos to our audience and our YouTube family. So in the coming weeks, we'll be preparing our little homestead for winter. So, you know, my garden is a hot mess. I'm gonna have to get all that going. I'm not gonna have any of these things left now that Coleman has eaten them all. But okay, friends, thank you for watching. Coleman, come here. We appreciate you, and we will see you real soon in another video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.